Hey everyone, Nescos here. This is the first devlog of my little game I'm developing in Godot. I just moved from Unity to Godot, so as I'm developing this game, I'm also learning Godot. My past projects aren't too impressive and mostly unfinished, and I'm definitely hoping that these devlogs keep me on track and motivated throughout. So let's get to the game itself. The game will be a top-down survival game with maybe some building / factory mechanics. I definitely want to add automation into the game because automation is kinda cool. Regarding the gameplay, think of like a top-down Minecraft. That's a game that definitely inspired me to make this, but at the same time I want to add different features and the gameplay will definitely be different. Regarding the style, I looked at the way zoms.io looks for reference, but basically it's just a simplistic pixel art top-down style. So what I have so far isn't much. I spent the last week just looking at a few tutorials, but I wasn't home, so now that I'm finally home with my setup ready, I can get working. So what I do have is this simple character controller made with the help of the tutorial done by Heartbeast. It is definitely a great tutorial that explains Godot really well, and in it he makes a simple RPG. If you want to learn Godot, you should definitely check it out. Now I also want to add why I moved to Godot. The main reason is because of GDScript and the fact that I am lazy. I'm much more familiar with Python than C#, and GDScript is based on Python. I also learned Unity by just searching stuff up when needed, and I think because of that, my overall workflow isn't very optimal, and I don't even want to talk about my coding. It's incredibly messy and oftentimes inefficient. Finally, I also just want to learn Godot because a lot of YouTubers that I watch switch to it and their videos are pretty convincing. So now let's get to the game. I think my next step is to add some kind of world generation with water / grass and some sand tiles. I want the world to be infinite, so the way I'll try doing this is through Perlin noise, since I'm familiar with Perlin noise. Now most of you probably know or have heard of Perlin noise, so I won't go into too much detail regarding what it is, but basically it's a function that can generate random looking clumps. Using this function we can make some sand / water / grass biome. So at first I need the tiles. I'm using Sprite for all the pixel art. It's a great app that I recently got, and I do recommend it. Now these tiles are definitely not the final product. They literally took like a few minutes to make, but they will do for now. Okay, never mind. I really do not like how that looks. Time to redraw. So for the style that I'm going for, I'm going to try plain colors for now and see how those look. Might change in the future. So a bit better in my opinion, but the bushes definitely need to be changed. For now though, I'm not going to worry about it and just read up a couple more tutorials on world generation. Okay, so after doing some more research on tiles, I realized that I'll definitely need to redraw my tiles with corners and such because Godot allows for bit masks, which are basically allow smart tiling, where a tile in the corner actually looks like a corner tile. For now though, I was just trying to figure out how to set tiles in Godot through scripts. It's actually super easy, but the problem is that each tile has an index, and for some reason my tiles start at index 2, which makes absolutely no sense, but it is what it is. I think I'm going to try to get the chunk loading working right now. Basically, to keep the game from dying, we only draw the tiles around the player. Okay, system seems to be working pretty decent. Basically all it does is once it detects a large enough change in player position and notices that the player is getting close to one of the borders, it deletes the tiles on the other side, so on the other border, and draws the needed tiles on the new one. What's cool about Godot actually is that I was going to store a 2D array for the tiles I have, but with Godot I can just access what tile it is by specifying the X and Y position, so that a 2D array is not needed. Anyways, that's just an afterthought and I'm getting kinda tired, so I think I'll just go to sleep now. Tomorrow I'll get biomes actually kinda set up and also figure out a way to have the camera follow the player, which should be interesting because I'm not sure if Godot even has any cameras. It probably does, but I'm too lazy to check. Okay, so it is day 2 now, and I think for today I need to add Perlin noise and also have the camera follow the player, so it doesn't look whack. Let's start with Perlin noise because that seems interesting. First I want to fix the issue from yesterday where the tile is indexed from 2. Okay, so it looks like there's no way to change it directly, so I just re-imported the tile, which should be fine, considering that I will redo the whole tile set later anyways. For now though, we need to get a basic sand tile. Also, there's this weird issue of tiles kind of flying around. Not sure what the cause of that is, but after reading some GitHub issues, it's actually pretty common. So downgrading some settings in the renderer fixed it. Now let's work on the sand tile. Okay, so I threw that together in like a couple of seconds. Let's see how it looks. Okay, way better now. That actually doesn't look half bad. Let's get Perlin noise working. Okay, so after doing some more research, it looks like that the noise generates a value between -1 and 1. I think what we need to do is add 1 to this value and then floor it. So basically we get numbers from 0 and 1 and very rarely 2, but I don't think we'll ever get a 2 because it's that rare. This is what we get, and it seems pretty decent, but I definitely want the biomes to be bigger. Let's try playing around with the settings of the noise, which Godot allows you to do, which is really cool. Okay, looks better. I think for now we're good. I also attached the camera to the player, so Godot does have cameras, and the game doesn't look half bad. Now I want to finish this first devlog with some of my thoughts on Godot. After using it for 2 days, I can safely say that Godot is much easier to use and code in than Unity. I had a similar system I set up in Unity, and that took me around a week or so to get it working. And this wasn't because I didn't know how to do it, it was because Unity is just more complicated. At the same time, however, there were times where I did feel like Unity was better. It's just more stable. Its editor has less bugs, especially during that tile flickering bug I told you about. It actually took me a while to fix, and it's a pretty common issue that a bunch of people had, and Godot really didn't release a fix to it, so I had to like kind of downgrade to fix it. But I mean, it was fine. It was fixed in like 30 minutes. Unity also has more tutorials, which is a huge plus. Godot does have good documentation, but it doesn't help with everything, and tutorials are more sparse. If you find some like niche issue, there's way smaller chance you'll find someone who made a tutorial to fix that issue. Unity, however, probably has a tutorial on everything if you look enough. Like anything, any questions you have, there's probably a tutorial on it. This, however, isn't going to deter me because I think practice makes perfect, and with more practice, I'll face less issues. For the next devlog, I'm going to read some docs and best practices off camera and maybe find a few more good tutorials. Hopefully we can get some more cool stuff set up.